Now, the British astronaut Tim Peake says he's most looking forward to seeing what Earth looks like from space when he blasts off today. Major Peake is the first Briton officially sent to the International Space Station. I'm joined by the space journalist Charles Atkeison, who's based at Cape Canaveral in Florida. Good to talk to you. We are very excited here in the UK because this is the first Briton to go to the International Space Station. But how routine are these flights?
This is going to be an incredible launch. Tim Peake is so relaxed at this point, although he's so anxious to get on orbit. He has trained for so long with his crew of three, one American, one Russian, and of course, our first British astronaut, Tim Peake, will be arriving on orbit 6 hours after launch.
He's going to be looking at microgravity experiments inspired by Isaac Newton's. Is this kind of feature still yielding valuable results?
Yes, it is. As far as the work being done aboard the orbital laboratory, it's up there 252 miles above the planet. And what we can do up there is have that clean microgravity environment that allows us to carry out so many experiments from chips, better microprocessors and chips for computers, to how we work on the human heart and other surgical options. The work being done on space, the fine crystal growth that still continues on board, it's an incredible arena for us to have up there in orbit.
Now, this particular mission appears to piggyback off the Russian space program. When do you think the US is going to resume manned space flights?
Well, how NASA and the commercial space program is working and being organized here in the States, we have NASA that will be working towards moving humans out of low Earth orbit. The commercial spaceflight program, where we'll probably see the first Americans launching back from the Florida coastline here on America's Space Coast, could happen within 2 years. We're waiting. SpaceX, among other commercial companies, will be taking Americans back to the International Space Station from U.S. soil. And it's going to be an incredible. SpaceX just announced they'll be resuming flights later this month, and we'll start seeing SpaceX. And of course, we just had a return to the space station with an orbital ATK's Cygnus, excuse me, that's gone up. So we have resumed commercial flights back to the space station. Humans going back about 2 years from now.
And just give us a sense of microgravity. I mean, what will he be experiencing when he's in orbit, and also traveling as fast as he will be traveling to the International Space Station?
Well, it will take him a day or two at least to adapt to microgravity. For some astronauts, it takes longer. Cosmonauts, it takes longer. For some, they may adapt to it quickly. What we will see with Tim is 6 hours after launch, they'll arrive on the space station. At the space station, they'll dock to the Rassvet module. 2 hours after that, they'll open up the hatches. The three astronauts on board, headed by Commander Scott Kelly, will greet the incoming astronauts and one cosmonaut. And over the next day or two, we'll see how Tim Peake reacts to the microgravity environment. I think he'll do very well. It's rare nowadays because of all the extensive training with the what we call the vomit comet, the aircraft that will do certain arcs up in the air to help get astronauts ready who have never flown before to that weightless environment.
Okay, Charlie Atkeison, who based at Cape Canaveral in Florida. Thanks for joining us on Sky World News.